Imagine your neighbor for a second. Maybe not the one with the super flashy car and the, perfect lawn. Think about the quiet one. Modest home, maybe driving an older sedan. Well, what if I told you that unassuming neighbor might actually be a millionaire, while the one, flaunting all the luxury could be drowning in debt? That surprising reality, that kind of upside down view of things, is what we're diving into today.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
We're pulling back the curtain on a real classic, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko. And this isn't about the super rich, the billionaires with yachts. No, this book takes a deep, research-backed look into who the wealthy really are and who they are not. It focuses on regular people who built serious wealth, often totally under the radar.
Exactly. It's based on decades of interviews, talking to actual millionaires all across America. And Stanley and Danko, they didn't just peek at bank balances. They really dug into lifestyle, spending habits, day-to-day choices.
Yeah.
And what they found, well, it pretty much turns our whole idea of affluence on its head.
Right. Which brings us to that first huge insight from their work. Most of us, well, we've got it all wrong about wealth in America. We picture, glamour, big spending. But the authors found the total opposite. Most millionaires, they're often just nondescript middle-class folks to their neighbors. They just don't look the part we expect.
That's it, exactly. And the data really backs this up. It paints a picture of, well, being understated. Like, take clothes. The typical American millionaire they surveyed never spent more than, you get this, $399 on a suit. Only 1 in 10 paid $1,000 or more.
Wow.
The main point here really is for these true wealth builders, utility and value always beat brand names and, temporary status.
That really makes you think, doesn't it? Challenges those assumptions. And it's not just suits, right? Their cars tell a similar story.
Oh, absolutely.
We might imagine fancy imports, but most millionaires aren't driving the latest high-end models. Actually, more than half never paid over $30,000 for a car. Ever. A lot of them like used cars. There's that great quote from one guy about his sedan being the last one that would ever be stolen out of the airport parking lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's about reliability, function, not showing off. And this whole value thing, it even shows up in their wallets, like their credit cards. Big preference for just practical everyday cards. Basic Visa, MasterCard, maybe even store cards like Sears. They found millionaires were way more likely to have a Sears card than, say, a Brooks Brothers card. And very few had an Amex Platinum. It's always utility, financial sense over how it looks. Every single time.
So, okay, it's clearly not about the outward show. It's about what's happening, behind the scenes. And this leads us to a really key idea in the book. The difference between what they call prodigious accumulators of wealth, PAWs. These are the folks efficiently building net worth, and unknown accumulators of wealth, UAWs. Those are the ones just, spending their high incomes.
Right. And the book defines wealth by net worth, what you own, minus what you own, not just your paycheck. The threshold is $1 million or more. And they give you this pretty simple wealth equation. Expected wealth is 1/10 of your age times your total annual income.
Okay. 1/10 age times income.
Yeah. And it's a powerful little formula because it helps you see the difference between someone just earning a lot and someone actually building financial security. It's not just what you make, right? It's what you keep. Let's look at maybe 2 examples they give. Charles Bobbins, he's a 41-year-old fireman, earns $55,000 a year. His net worth, $460,000. Now, according to the formula, his expected wealth is around $225,500.
So he's way ahead.
Exactly. He's a PAW. He's worth way more than expected. And he lives, quote, a low-consumption lifestyle.
That's a great example. Okay, so who's on the other side?
Well, then you have Dr. John J. Ashton. He's a 56-year-old physician making a lot more, $560,000 a year. But his net worth is only $1.1 million. Now, yeah, technically a millionaire.
Well, what the formula says.
Right. His expected wealth should be over $3 million.
Yeah.
So he's a UAW. The book figures he could only keep up his lifestyle for maybe 2, at most 3 years if he stopped working.
Wow, that's a huge difference in real security, isn't it?
It's massive. And there's another one, Theodore Teddy J. Friend, 48-year-old sales guy, $221,000 income. His net worth, less than a quarter of his expected $1 million plus. The book says he was possessed by possessions, multiple boats, jet skis, 6 cars, 2 leased, a $5,000 watch.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. His parents apparently taught him to earn to spend. He worked like crazy to impress people, but the book says he has never convinced himself of his own success. It's kind of a sad statement, really, about chasing appearances versus building real wealth.
Definitely. And that comparison between the 2 women, Sharon and Barbara, really drives it home, too. Both earn around $220,000 a year. Sharon, the UAW healthcare specialist, net worth only $370,000, pays a big chunk in taxes. Then Barbara, the PAW, same income bracket, but her net worth, $3.55 million, and she pays way less of her wealth in taxes.
Yeah, it just shows so clearly high income doesn't automatically mean high wealth, especially if you, like the book says, maximize your realized incomes, often to support high consumption lifestyles.
Mm.
It's about being smart with taxes, keeping more of what you actually earn and accumulate.
Okay, so this all points to something deeper. What's the common thread for these PAWs, these wealth builders? It's not luck, you said, or even inheritance, mostly.
Right. The book really hammers this home. Wealth is more often the result of a lifestyle of hard work, perseverance, planning, and most of all, self-discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And get this, about 80% of American millionaires are first-generation rich. They built it themselves.
80%. Okay, so if it's not inherited, what's the playbook? What are they doing?
Well, the authors found these 7 common denominators, kind of a blueprint for building wealth. Okay, so
Yeah.
1, they live well below their means. Seems obvious, but crucial.
Mhm.
2, they're really efficient with their time, energy, and money, always thinking about wealth building. 3, and this is big, they value financial independence way more than showing off social status.
Okay, makes sense.
4, their parents generally didn't give them what the book calls economic outpatient care, like big financial handouts. 5, related to that, their own adult kids are economically self-sufficient. 6, they're good at spotting market opportunities. And 7, they picked the right occupation. We can talk more about that maybe.
Yeah, definitely. But underlying all of that seems to be.
Frugality, absolutely. That's the cornerstone, defined as, economy and the use of resources. Being careful.
Mhm.
Most millionaires, like this example, Mrs. Rule, an auctioneer, 90K income,
Okay.
$2 million net worth, they budget carefully, control expenses,
Yeah.
and even those who don't have like a formal spreadsheet budget, many use the invest first and spend the balance method.
The old pay yourself first.
Exactly. They lock away typically a minimum of 15% of their income for investing before anything else gets spent. It basically forces them to live on less, ensuring there's always money to grow.
And it's not just about the money itself, right? You mentioned time and energy.
Yes, huge difference there too.
Right.
PAWs spend almost double the time planning their investments compared to UAWs. We're talking an average of 8.4 hours a month versus just 4.6 for the UAWs. It
Right.
shows, a real commitment, a proactive, scheduled approach to their financial future,
Yeah.
not just reacting.
Right, they're intentional about it.
Very. And that planning also covers taxes. They get that high spending usually means high realized income, which means more taxes.
Mm.
So they work to minimize that realized income, keeping it, on average, less than 7% of their total wealth. How way? Things like tax-free municipal bonds, holding on to stocks with unrealized gains. Smart stuff. They even mentioned Ross Perot as an extreme case, paying only like 0.8% of his wealth in taxes one year. That's strategic management.
Okay, wow. Now, you mentioned something earlier, economic outpatient care, EOC. This sounds interesting, maybe a little controversial.
It is pretty counterintuitive. EOC is basically when parents give substantial financial gifts to their adult kids. And it's common, over 46% of affluent parents were giving at least $15,000 a year. But here's the twist. The research found that parents who give more EOC often end up with less wealth themselves. Okay, maybe that makes sense. But the real kicker is the adult kids who receive more EOC. They tend to accumulate less wealth too.
Wait, getting more money makes them less wealthy. How does that work?
Well, the authors put it bluntly. It is much easier to spend other people's money than dollars that are self-generated. It basically creates dependency. It doesn't teach them the discipline and frugality needed to build their own wealth.
That makes sense. Like they don't learn the value of a dollar they didn't earn themselves.
Exactly. There's this great story comparing 2 brothers, Henry and Josh. Henry's a teacher, makes $71,000, net worth $834,000. Solid paw. His brother Josh is an attorney, earns $123,000, plus he gets $10,000 a year in EOC from mom and dad. Josh's net worth, only $553,000, way lower, despite the higher income and the gifts.
So Henry lives below his means, Josh lives above his, subsidized by the parents.
Precisely. The EOC enables Josh's higher spending, but undermines his wealth building. And the book talks about this montage effect. The gift receivers kind of blur the lines, They feel richer than they are because they mix their parents' wealth with their own potential. Leads to more spending, more debt. Teaches them to be consumers, not accumulators.
So the lesson for parents is
Teach your own to live on their own. The most successful adult kids are the wealthy, often the ones who got little or no EOC. There's a powerful story about a woman, Sarah. Got no EOC, father cut her off financially. She became a self-made millionaire. And later, she ended up supporting her sister's kids because the sister had been dependent. It really shows the power of fostering self-reliance.
That's a strong message. Okay, shifting slightly, what about jobs? You mentioned choosing the right occupation. What did they find there? Not everyone's a doctor or lawyer, right?
Not at all. Actually, many millionaires own businesses in what the book calls dull normal industries. Think things like welding, auctioneering, maybe rice farming, mobile home parks, pest control, even coin and stamp dealing.
Huh. Not exactly glamorous tech startups.
Nope. Often less competition in those fields, maybe more stable demand. Solid foundations for building wealth quietly. But that said, many affluent parents do encourage their kids towards self-employed professions. Doctors, attorneys, engineers, accountants, dentists.
Okay, why those specifically?
The thinking is pretty smart. They can take your business, but they can't take your intellect. These professions give you skills that are portable, high earning potential, usually good profit margins compared to maybe other small businesses. Your brain is your biggest asset.
That makes sense. Any other niches?
Yeah, one more key group, people who serve the affluent. So think estate planners, top tax advisors, specialized cosmetic surgeons or dentists, heads of private schools. These folks are often well-positioned because wealthy people, while frugal elsewhere, often don't skimp on these high-value services that protect or enhance their wealth or well-being.
Ah, interesting. Find a need the wealthy have and fill it well.
Basically, yeah. It's a smart path if you can find the right fit.
So all these insights, how relevant are they today? I mean, the book's been around a while. We live in this age of social media, constant comparison.
Oh, I'd say they're more relevant than ever.
Yeah.
That pressure to display wealth, to keep up, it's intense now, right? With Instagram, TikTok, the core message, wealth is what you keep, not what you spend, is such a powerful counter-narrative to all that noise. It reminds you, real prosperity is usually built quietly.
Yeah, it's so easy to fall into that UAW trap, isn't it? Seeing curated lives online, feeling like you need to spend to impress or just keep up. This whole deep dive is a great reminder. Your neighbor with the fancy car might be broke, while the quiet family next door could be millionaires. That facade is powerful, and seeing through it is, like, liberating.
Absolutely. And that economic outpatient care point, still incredibly relevant. You see parents helping adult kids buy houses they can't really afford, especially in trendy, expensive areas. It creates this illusion of success for the kids, but it often just holds back their own ability to become truly financially independent. It keeps that dependency cycle going.
Okay, so this has been fascinating. Let's boil it down for everyone listening. What are the key actionable steps we can take away from the Millionaire Next Door?
Right, let's get practical. First, budget. Or, if formal budgeting isn't your thing, definitely commit to pay yourself first. Like Mrs. Rule, know where your money's going. Aim to save and invest at least 15% of your pre-tax income before you spend a dime on anything else. Make it automatic, non-negotiable.
Got it. Rule 1, budget or pay yourself first, 15% minimum. What's next?
Second, and this is maybe the hardest, truly live below your means. Doesn't matter how much you make. Remember Henry the teacher. Accumulation matters more than income. Fight that urge to upgrade your lifestyle every time you get a raise. Lifestyle inflation is like the silent killer of wealth building.
Okay, live below your means. Resist lifestyle creep. Number 3.
Dedicate real time to financial planning. Remember, the PAWs spend almost twice as much time on this as UAWs. This isn't just stock picking. It's having a plan, reviewing it, understanding where you are, making informed choices. Treat your finances like a serious project.
Makes sense. Consistent effort. 4th point.
Choose your financial advisors very carefully. The book says treat them like applicants for a crucial job. Get references, check their track record. Don't be afraid to ask about their personal investment results. Ideally, find an accountant who's a PAW themselves, someone who gets it, and ask them for referrals to advisors who walk the walk.
Good advice. Screen your advisors. And the last one.
Number 5, cultivate financial independence for yourself. And if you have kids, teach it to them. Lead by example. Focus on building your wealth, not waiting for inheritance or relying on subsidies. Instill those core values. Discipline, frugality, self-reliance. Teach them how to fish. Don't just give them fish via that consumption-driving EOC.
Excellent summary. Budget, live below means, plan, choose advisors wisely, and foster independence.
Yeah, this deep dive, I think, really shows that true wealth, it's not the flashy stuff, not the expensive suits or cars or giant houses. It's about discipline, being frugal, consistently saving and investing, planning thoughtfully, and building independence. The real millionaire is often, the person you'd least suspect, quietly building their future, securing their freedom.
And maybe a final thought for everyone listening. The book says It takes much discipline to become affluent. Think about physical fitness people who are fit, work at it consistently, right? Jogging, gym. Well, financial fitness is the same. It takes deliberate, consistent effort. So the question is, will you choose to be the millionaire next door, building wealth quietly, steadily, or the spender down the street, kind of chasing an illusion? That choice and the discipline that comes with it, well, it's really up to you.
Well said.
If you found these insights valuable and you want more shortcuts to being well-informed on topics like this, make sure you subscribe to Wealth and Wisdom Podcast. We do deep dives like this all the time.